Two people can ask an AI the exact same question and get completely different answers. One gets a vague, generic response that isn't very useful. The other gets a detailed, accurate, well-structured answer that actually solves their problem. The difference isn't the AI, it's how they asked. That skill, knowing how to communicate with AI to get the best results, is called prompt engineering, and it's become one of the most practically valuable things you can learn right now. Let's start with why this is even necessary. You might reasonably think that AI should just understand what you mean regardless of how you phrase it. And modern AI has gotten remarkably good at understanding intent. But these models are still highly sensitive to framing, context, and specificity. The way a prompt is written determines which parts of the model's training get activated, how much context the model has to work with, and what format and tone the response will take. A vague prompt leaves the model filling in blanks, and it will fill them in based on the average of similar prompts it has seen, not based on your specific situation. The most fundamental improvement you can make to any prompt is adding context. Compare these two prompts. First, write me a cover letter. Second, write me a cover letter for a junior software engineering role at a fintech startup. I have 2 years of experience in Python and have built 2 personal projects, including a budgeting app with 300 users. The tone should be confident, but not arrogant. The second prompt gives the model a defined task, relevant details, and a tonal direction. The output will be substantially more useful. Another powerful technique is role assignment. You can tell the AI to approach a problem from a specific perspective. Act as a senior financial analyst and explain this balance sheet. Explain this concept as if you're teaching a curious 12-year-old. Review this code as a security researcher looking for vulnerabilities. Role assignment works because the model has absorbed vast amounts of writing from specific domains and perspectives. Activating a specific role steers it toward the vocabulary, reasoning patterns, and priorities associated with that domain. Few-shot prompting is one of the most reliable techniques for getting consistent output formats. Instead of describing the format you want, you show the model examples of it. Here's an example input, and here's the output I want. Now do it for these 10 new inputs. Models are remarkably good at pattern matching. Showing 1 or 2 examples of the desired format often works better than a paragraph of instructions about what the format should be. Chain of thought prompting is particularly useful for complex reasoning tasks. By asking the model to think through a problem step by step before giving an answer, you dramatically improve its accuracy on problems involving logic, mathematics, or multi-step reasoning. The phrase think step by step, or asking the model to explain its reasoning before concluding, has been shown in research to significantly reduce errors. The reason is that generating intermediate reasoning steps gives the model more tokens of computation to work with before it commits to a final answer. Be specific about output format. If you want a numbered list, ask for a numbered list. If you want a table, ask for a table. If you want a response under 200 words, say so. If you want the response in a specific structure, describe that structure. Models will default to their most common output format for a given type of request, which may not be what you need. Specifying format explicitly almost always improves results. Iterative refinement is also a core skill. Treat the first response as a draft, not a final answer. Follow up with specific requests, make this more concise, add a section on risks, rewrite the third paragraph to be less formal, give me 3 alternative versions of this headline. The back and forth of a conversation allows you to steer toward exactly what you need in a way that no single prompt can achieve in one shot. Negative constraints can also be useful. Tell the model what not to do. Don't use technical jargon. Don't mention competitor products. Don't use bullet points. Avoid cliches. This is especially useful when the model has a tendency to default to patterns you don't want. There are limits to what prompt engineering can fix. If the model doesn't have knowledge of something, better prompting will create that knowledge. If the model has a strong tendency toward a type of error, you can reduce it, but often not eliminate it. And very long, complex prompts can sometimes confuse the model or cause it to lose track of earlier instructions. Clarity and structure in your prompts matters as much as length. The practical implication of all this is that prompt engineering is a learnable skill with real returns. The people who use AI tools most effectively aren't the ones with technical backgrounds. They're the ones who have experimented, paid attention to what works, and developed intuition for how to communicate their needs precisely. That intuition is built through practice, not theory. If this helped you understand prompt engineering, subscribe. We break down AI every week in plain English.